16,000 expected on hand tonight at Assembly Hall in Champaign for the Big Ten opener for both number 18 Ohio State and number 17 Illinois. And we welcome you to Champaign. Dave Barnett, Bill Raftery, Big Ten opener for both. Ohio State showed the way last year. They went from last place the previous year in the Big Ten all the way to the Final Four, and the Illini would like to think they can pull off the same trick this year.
They're very strong, and they have to be good defensively. They're a good rebounding team. What's most impressive is the depth and the physical presence up front. Then you look at Ohio State and Jimmy O'Brien. They're not shooting the ball as well as they did last year. It's given them some troubles. They're excited because they're making shots now, but he's going to have to mix up the defenses, I think, to make sure people stay in the game. They're going to have to get some inside points and dominate at least on penetration. So you might see some shot blockings and runouts.
Jim O'Brien last year not only the Big Ten Coach of the Year, but the National Coach of the Year. 27 wins, equal to school record. And he took them to their first Final Four in some 31 years. And the Ramada starting lineups for the Buckeyes, maybe the best backcourt in the country, in the senior Scooney Penn and the junior Michael Redd, joined by Brian Brown. Osokolic is the forward, and Ken Johnson had those 8 blocks in one half against American University, which made only 6 baskets as a team that half, a Buckeye blowout. And for the Illini, the McDonald's All-America freshman Frank Williams, joined by Corey Bradford in the backcourt, Cleotis Brown, senior forward, alongside Robert Archibald, and another McDonald's All-America, Griffin, is the center. Bradford bridging last year's team to this year. Last year, a school record 85 three-pointers, and he has made at least one in all 43 of his games for Lon Kruger. Now in his 4th year, he has had success, 4 wins in 5 tries against the Ohio State Buckeyes, and will return to Champaign and tip off the Big Ten season for Ohio State and the Illini coming up. 8-2 Ohio State and 8-3 Illinois are just about set to go at Assembly Hall. Last year, Ohio State, a 19-game turnaround, second best in the history of NCAA basketball, and it culminated in the South Regional Final against St. John's in Knoxville. Scooney Penn knocked down 22 points. Ken Johnson had 7 block shots. Michael Redd chipped in 20, and the Buckeyes upset St. John's 77-74. Dancing their way to their first Final Four appearance in some 31 years. And as a result, Bill Raftery, very high expectations this year, top 10 in virtually every poll, but they came out and were upset in their opener, which you and I saw in Columbus, by Notre Dame. And so 8-2, their only other loss was at Kansas, 80-67. They've never really regained some of the momentum that they lost, I think, in that Notre Dame game.
I know Jim O'Brien can coach. I'm sure he can't dance if they're watching that. But what he's been doing is getting guys involved offensively. Now, the big thing, I think, Scooney Penn, in addressing himself this morning, said, I'm rushing a shot. I'm dribbling real fast. My momentum is carrying me. And he's struggling in the 2-point area, the middle game. Outside with the 3, he's fine. But, of course, Jimmy, being a point guard, understands he's got to get others involved. And Redd is so important to this team, dominating with the dribble in the lane.
Lon Kruger, meanwhile, coming off 1 week ago, a blowout of Loyola Chicago, 107-71, the highest point total under Kruger and their highest in any game in 6 years. So they feel like they're pretty well in tune offensively, and the Illini control the tap and go to work.
And Dave Barnett, Ohio State,
and we're underway officially. And Marcus Griffin misses from the baseline. The Buckeyes control, and Scooney Penn pushes it up for Ohio State.
And they blitzed the little pick and roll high.
Osokolic left alone, misses the 3-pointer. Rebound pulled down by Corey Bradford for the Illini.
Both clubs like to come quick. They'll take the quick hitter. This time sliding Williams that time. Didn't get his feet set.
Missing the 3, Frank Williams.
Everything starts with Scooney. Very comfortable offensive. A lot of flare screens on the perimeter. Here's a little slice cut, a stagger for Redd.
Redd against the defensive Bradford. They look inside for Johnson, being fronted by Archibald. And now it's Redd with a shot clock under 10. Going one-on-one. Griffin got a piece of it, and here comes Illinois.
Good help defense. Steps. Yep.
Griffin traveled.
Not a good look in traffic. You got to get the big guy set with bodies not around him. Poise early. Lon trying to get his guys to calm down a little bit. he likes the power game, and I think that's very important against Ohio State, particularly against Johnson.
It surprised some people to note Illinois is the Big Ten's highest scoring team right now, better than 81 points per game. Red hoping that he had shaken his early season shooting slump, but no evidence of that yet. Williams off balance, but it goes.
Well, you watch tape, and a lot of his shots are off balance, but as you noted, he's got that uncanny ability to deliver. Red had a good stroke, but they didn't rebound the offensive miss.
Ryan Brown takes it in, right past Marcus Griffin.
Ryan Brown.
Sophomore from Brooklyn, New York, averaging about 10 points per game, and the Illini throw it away.
And Williams with a look, but they weren't there. Too long. Got to be under control. Right here, the defense settles, and he has to make the adjustment. A little herky-jerky, hip checker.
And Lon telling us before the game, he's in that period where he's trying to figure out when to take his own shot and when to distribute, and that's something that some point guards never completely figure out, especially freshmen.
Roll hook, loves the roll hook. And look at this defense, solid.
Knocked away from Johnson. Brown taking it 1-on-3. Out of bounds to Illinois.
Cleotis is playing terrific basketball. Double figure 6 of the last 8, but both clubs, it seems like an opener in the Big Ten. Look at the help defense. Griffith ends up swiping the basketball, leads to a run out.
Bradford for a 3. Way off. Long rebound. And the putback by Cleotis Brown, no good.
And maybe got away with one that time. Johnson.
Cold shooting both ways to start. 1 of 5 by the Illini, and the Buckeyes only one of their first 4.
Now, did you see the poise by Penn? That's where Williams has to develop his game.
Red starts in, pulls up, nails it, and that's how he's been shooting of late.
And those two are so important. And this morning, Jimmy O'Brien saying, if we shoot the ball, we're a different team. I mean, it's a simple statement, but addresses all the other dilemmas.
Marcus Griffin, Jr., out of that pipeline they have from Peoria Manual. 3 Illini stars, all coming from that powerhouse team that strung together 4 consecutive state championships. Griffin has his first 2, and we're tied at 4.
Is there a nice little inside game, a little 10-foot jumper, a screen down here for Brown.
Brown around Archibald. Osokolich left alone for a 3. Rebounded by Bradford. Bradford looking to run, takes it in past Brown, stripped and out of bounds back to Illinois.
You got to run something. Don't you get the feeling everybody's trying to go one-on-one, penetrate, just relax, get comfortable, and the depth's going to be showing early as Lon Kruger goes to the bench, Dave.
A couple of subs for the Illini. One is Lucas Johnson, 6'8" sophomore. And he is joined by another prize freshman, McDonald's All-America Brian Cook out of Lincoln, Illinois. They have 3 consecutive Illinois Mr. Basketball winners, and Cook the most recent one at last year. Johnson right up and it out on a 3.
Well, he likes to shoot them at home. He knocks them down regularity. 17 of 23 for 3s at home. That'll get you a busy phone in the evening.
14 points per game at home, less than 2 points per game on the road. Go figure.
Likes the home cooking. Look at that play. A little carry, though. Nice little hesitation. Both clubs a little jittery.
Timeout just past the 16-minute mark, and neither team has the offensive cobweb shaken out yet. It's still 4-4. Rocky offensive start for both. It's 4-4 Ohio State and Illinois with 15:59 in the first half.
Well, occasionally, if you give Marcus Griffith a chance, now look at everybody the movement. Here's a spread for the 3 if there's help. They got weak side rebounding, and over the outstretch, Ken Johnson. I mean, nice little freeze. The key is to getting the touches down there, and then his patience. Does he have a shot, or does he have to deliver to somebody?
Good news for Ken Johnson is he's gotten this far without picking up a foul. The biggest fear for Jim O'Brien night in, night out is early foul trouble for Ken Johnson. Not very deep behind him at center, and he hasn't scored, but he also has not drawn a whistle.
And here's the zone look, forcing a deep jumper. And again, too quick.
Williams missed the 3. Brown brings it down for Ohio State.
See, that's one of those things as a point. Move the ball around, find out where the weakness in the zone is. Give everybody a couple of touches. Don't rush the J.
George Reese off off the bench for the Buckeyes, his first appearance. Red off his screen, follows his own miss, up strong and missed again. Tapped out to Bradford. That's how the year has gone all too often for Red. Three-point pull-up, and Bradford drained it.
Get his license. He is so effective with that freeze dribble. 40% from three. Danger zone.
Trying to answer Scoonie Penn. Saved for the Illini by Brian Cook. Johnson driving on Reese underneath. Cook fouled on the reverse, and that will be the first on Ken Johnson.
And what a nice job. Brian Cook used the rim. Otherwise, it would have been a blocked shot. Just terrific. A lot of quick shots. You saw Scoonie Penn take one, but right here, you freeze the guy. And this morning, you recall Jimmy O'Brien saying, come up on him right away. He's so dangerous on a nylon stroke.
Brian Cook at the line with
Nothing he does is going to be a surprise to Jim O'Brien. Bradford last year in a 3-point regular season loss to the Buckeyes, a career-high 29 points. He was big in their upset in the Big Ten semifinals. Illinois with 3 wins in 3 days over 3 ranked teams in Chicago. That's after only 3 regular season conference wins. They knocked off Minnesota, Indiana, and Ohio State before losing in the tournament final to Michigan State.
And it's not that he can't set it up with the drive, too. He's very effective. There's a little trap half court. Reese coming in as the 6th man. Jimmy feels it deepens his bench, particularly up front.
Reese has been a starter. Not for the time being. Penn still scoreless. Shot clock under 10 for the Buckeyes.
Solid man-to-man scraping down on the post.
Off the side of the glass that time by Will Dudley, and he draws a foul on Brian Cook.
Anytime he can get it inside, it causes the defense some problems. The scrape outside helps the outside shooters. Brown tries to get a little passing lane for the release, but post-up offense, I mean, it's just a little bit confusing, particularly for young people. How to deny, how to root a guy out of the box area as Dudley was able to get the catch.
Marcus Griffin back for Illinois in for Cook. Will Dudley for the line, from the line for the year, now 4 for 12. Different story from the field where he's 67%. He misses both free throws. Brown controls for the Illini, who still lead by 4.
That's been all man-to-man. They just had that little trip of zone. Ohio State. Look at the help.
Griffin going to work. Knocked out of his hands, out to Williams. And they work a nice little 2-man game. Penn, amongst all the big bodies, comes down with the rebound and draws contact, and it's Marcus Griffin's first.
Tell you, the quick hands of Michael Red swiped at the ball. I mean, you've got to help your post defenders.
Buckeyes looking for Red and Penn to get ignited. Red has 2, Penn nothing. Boban Savovic, who has missed the last month with a sore Achilles, off for the first time.
He brings some energy, too. This is their flex offense. The baseline screen, Scoonie gets free.
Guys have missed the last 4 shots. Reese had it knocked away by Johnson, got it back, and the late call by Jim Burr.
I think it might be an inadvertent whistle. This is interesting. The ball was swiped as he went up. I think they're going to give it back to Ohio State. That's just a guess. Everybody thought it was a walk, so they stopped guarding. In effect, it hurts Ohio State. They should have been able to get an easy basket. Ball's pried loose. And right there, you see Jimmy Burr running into it.
And you're right, it's going to go back to Ohio State with 9 on the shot clock, inadvertent whistle, and now they've got to go to work. Penn in no hurry, though.
And a little zone, they're going to have a tough time getting a good one off.
And they almost made it from 30. Push off Will Dudley. Call for the foul from the back.
In effect, the inadvertent whistle hurt Ohio State. They got a change of a defense to look at by Lon Kruger. Quick, heady move by Lon, and then the difficulty outside. The swipe makes it a loose ball.
McLean for Brown.
I think what threw everybody off, he actually came down with it. But once it was swiped, it was loose. And Jimmy Bird doing the right thing, though, getting everybody organized.
Replacing number 43, Will
Kruger gets Sergio McLean in. Another member of that Peoria Manual 4-state championship run. He teamed with Griffin on all 4 of those teams.
There's that high pick and roll. They open and they can make jumpers like this. Johnson with a good look.
In and out on his 3, though.
Pick and pop.
Buckeyes 0 for 5 on their 3-point attempts. And in 7 minutes have managed only 4 points on 2 of 10 shooting.
Look at the container to bounce by Reddy. So tough down the lane. Johnson's got to work to get free, standing still.
Slavovich says, clear me some room. McLean cuts him off. Shot clock under 10. Red stripped. And here comes Frank Williams for Illinois.
Nice play by Penn, though. Smart, threw him off just a little bit, did not foul. But the defense has been tough. Illinois switching on the perimeter. And no touches on the box.
Well, a little weave outside, and then Penn nails the pull-up 3, their first 3-pointer.
Composure. They got to get control of themselves, run their stuff, and attack a little bit more.
They had a 5-minute scoreless drought, which Penn ends with his first basket of the night, and they cut the lead in half. Griffin rejected by Ken Johnson. Penn on the break all the way, switches to the left hand and almost got it. Almost a circus shot for Scooney.
How nice, right? Great players in the open floor. They can feel the defense, come up with a little spice, variety in their delivery, but all ignited. And the big thing about Johnson, the ability to start fast breaks, keep it alive, and then the sage vet able to take a hit and almost get a chance for 3.
Scooney Penn, the coach's selection this year for preseason Big Ten Player of the Year. The media picked Cleves. Interesting, because last year the media voted Penn Big Ten Player of the Year. The coaches voted Mateen Cleves, so they just switched it around this year.
Yeah, they may have had a conference call. But think of this. Scooney Penn, Player of the Year, Co-Player of the Year last year, preseason pick this year, and not on the wooden list.
Yeah, how strange is that?
Unbelievable. This talented guy, such a solid citizen, great attitude, real team player, and who would typify a Wooden Award more than him?
Not only should he be on that list, he might well top the list. Buckeyes 0 for 4 from the free throw line, and another 3-pointer by Bradford. He's got a pair, and that's the margin for the Illini, 13-7.
And Michael Redd was out on him. Good penetration and dish.
Marcus Griffin goes up, rips it free from George Reese, and Steve Welmer is going to call over contact, his second.
And Dave, you notice what happens when they turn to the lane. Good things for Ohio State, but the counter, Michael Redd is out here. He's taller and just uncanny ability. Little nylon from deep, but the ability to get in that lane. And then dish, not a quick release by Reese, cost him maybe, but he gets a chance for 2. But that's the operation they have to have consistently, either dribble it in or find the post pass.
Much improved George Reese has started 8 of their first 10 games, but the new role coming off the bench tonight as the first free throw the Buckeyes have hit. They missed their first 5 from the line. George Reese hitting a pair to keep the Buckeyes within 4. 11:38 to go. First half from Champaign. Illinois 13-9, 11:38 to go in the first half.
Well, they all talk about Lon Kruger's ability as a coach, and a lot of it starts on the defensive end. But also Ken Johnson, not quite as active, although he ends up setting his man up on the ball reversal very well. Now they duck in, and now he holds up. You can see the cushion. They take away the drive and the splice, but the counter at the other end. The long arm of the law. Johnson able to keep it alive. The ensuing run out. A little payback indeed.
Ken Johnson, second nationally, 5 blocks per game. Sergio McLean into the paint, slips it inside for the reverse by Robert Archibald, his first point.
How about that, huh? Nice draw and dish.
Scooney Penn trying to set a little quicker pace and get his shot on the mark, and he's knocked in his last 2 after a cold start. 5 by Penn to lead the Buckeyes.
There's no way he stays down in his shooting all year. He's got too good an attitude. Nice pump.
Up fake by Cook, who's back in. Knocked over to Bradford. Reset it from McLean.
Cook's done some nice things. There's a screen, a nice look.
Oh, a pass, Archibald again from Cook.
You never know his dad was a player, huh? Norman, got to be awfully proud of that sequence. Saved it, picked, and slipped.
Norm Cook played in Kansas and then the Boston Celtics. Brian Cook, Fry's freshman for the Illini.
Lauren Tate, who does the radio for Illinois. Here's the rolling hook. It's become a weapon for him. Lauren Tate, to finish the thought, really loves Brian Cook. He said he sees him, thinks he's going to be a real comer for Lon Kruger.
Number 13, Brian Brown, replacing Red. Brown for Red and Johnson for Archibald.
Just about the halfway point of the first half now. Illinois slowly opening up a little bit of a comfort zone. Big possession here. McLean throws it in one-handed.
Those broad shoulders able to penetrate and discard.
Biggest lead of the game for the Illini. They have it up to 7. Ohio State very disjointed still on the offensive end. Missing the three-pointer from the corner was Brian Brown, and Ken Johnson is going to be whistled for number 2.
That's where he has to be smart. Lay off. If you don't get the rebound, don't swipe. Just get yourself back. And Jimmy O'Brien talking to him, too. You got to approach it intellectually. And you're so important to this front line of the team.
So 2 fouls, 9:47 to go. We may not see Ken Johnson the rest of this first half, and Will Dudley, the 6'8" sophomore, becomes a very big part of the Buckeye story.
And if they can stay in contact, I don't think you'll see him.
Cook over Dudley comes up short. Good follow of his own miss, though.
He's on fire.
Sean Harrington for McLean. Harrington, freshman from Elgin, Illinois, another son of a coach.
They had done a nice job lifting. Nice play. And Cook is so active. My goodness. Just protected.
Johnson set him up perfectly, then is ripped away and knocked out of bounds, and it's Ohio State ball. That's last by Cook.
Lon, a long way to make any comment on that particular play, but I'm so impressed early on finding holes offensively and the good swarmy defense. And this is one, well, you know, maybe he was right, Steve. He got it in the shoulder.
Ohio State really struggles when either Penn or Red is sitting, and Red and Johnson both on the bench at the moment. So Penn tries to take over, lost it. Knocked out, still Buckeye ball 13 on the shot clock.
And seldom, if ever, will you see both of them out at the same time. And that was just a tough little break there. Got to use better judgment as the year. Maybe at the end of the year he'll understand. Let it go and get back on the defensive end.
Penn launching a 3. Almost missed everything. I think it barely grazed iron.
I think you're right.
Williams pull up, not a good shot. Brown had him covered and got the rejection.
That's one of those tit-for-tat jobs. You gotta control your emotions.
Brown gives it right back to McLean. A 4-on-1 break. Williams to finish. And the lead up to 9 for Illinois. Timeout, 8:32 in the first half. 27% shooting doing in the Buckeyes. Illinois 21-12 over Ohio State. 8 minutes and 32 seconds to go the first half. A 6-0 run by the Illini over the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And Ohio State still really struggling at 4 of 15 from the field.
And Jimmy O'Brien, once you start begging a little bit, and he knows his club isn't intellectually in this game. They've got to have a better understanding of how to run their offense and attack a little bit more. But in fairness, Illinois' defense has been sensational. Lucas taking away the post-up. They're helping.
Michael Redd back in. Goes to work on the baseline, off the glass, and Michael Redd scores.
With the kiss. They got to get him going. Get him humming.
McLean in traffic, spins, almost got that one. Will Dudley got Sergio McLean. Second foul on Dudley.
I've been impressed with Illinois' ability to pump fake, get people in the air, whether it's on the perimeter and in this area as well. And you just see the strength of McLean almost getting a chance for three, and Dudley biting.
Ken Johnson out with 2 fouls, and Dudley, who came in after he picked up his second, now has 2. Sergio McLean struggling, a 7 of 14 for the season from the line. Osokolich returning for the Buckeyes. They get a little bit smaller as Dudley departs.
Son of a coach as well as Dad Wayne. And a guy that's going to get to the foul line, he's got to concentrate, only at 54%.
1 of 2 for Sergio, 22-14 Illinois, 7:51 in the first half. The Illini by 8. We're talking about turnarounds by the Buckeyes last year. Illinois hoping to do the same thing on the basketball court this year. Here's a guy who knows a little bit about a football turnaround. Ron Turner, the Illini head football coach, in his third year went from 0 wins to 3 wins last year to 8 wins in a bowl and a top 25 finish. Congratulations on a terrific year.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. It was a great year for us. You know, we had some expectations. Our main goal going into the season was to have a winning season. And then we said once we got to that point, then we readjust as we had to. And, you know, fortunately, we got 8 wins and a bowl victory.
And 2 of them at Ohio State, at Michigan. No one had done that in 46 years.
Yeah, that was something special. And I'm real happy for our kids and for our entire program. And I think the win at Michigan was really the one that gave us a big confidence boost and, you know, helped get us over the hump.
Well, we're talking about the point guards out here. You had a pretty good quarterback yourself, and Kirk Kittner, he had a wonderful year for you.
Yeah, he had a great year. He's really a good kid and really emerged this year and played great. 24 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions. Just really took care of the ball and made great decisions. Did a great job running the offense.
And on defense, Danny Clark, they told me he's a great linebacker.
Yeah, he is. You know, he's keeping up that Illinois linebacker tradition and really had a great year. And has been the leader for us really for 3 years and, you know, provided great senior leadership. It was great.
Ralph, you're king of the gridiron.
I did this for you. I was here a few years ago, and football was really struggling. And to see this atmosphere now, I mean, you've got to appreciate it more than anybody. It's just wonderful, the response to your program.
Yeah, it really is. And it's fun to see the community, the state, everybody get excited about Illinois football again. It's great to see.
Coach, thanks for spending some time with us. We'll look forward to seeing you next year. I'm sure we'll be here a bunch.
Good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And let's watch Illini get a victory here.
All right. Ron Turner, head football coach here in Champaign.
Congratulations.
Champions of the Micron PC.com Bowl over a stunned Virginia team. They scored 63 points. That's the second most in any bowl game ever.
Very impressive. Right now, Lon Kruger's guys, defensively, they've been solid. And Ohio State just not the same sink yet that Jimmy O'Brien's been searching for. He feels they've improved the last couple of weeks. And one of his laments really was not going further in the NIT preseason. Not having a chance to play Arizona or somebody of that style, because Notre Dame, quite frankly, was put a heck of an effort up against them.
Now here's another worst to first, almost. Last year, the worst free throw shooting team in the Big Ten, and their second so far this year, 71%. Big improvements by particularly Michael Redd and Scooty Penn. Here comes up with the steal and the drive.
Oh, call the officer. Got to protect. That's that point difficulty, protecting the dribble. Frank's got to know the little guards are going to be there trying to peck away at him.
8 for Penn. Back comes Illinois, though. Victor Chukwudebe, who missed the last 2 games with a right ankle problem. They hoped they would see him, and sure enough, they get him in late in the first half, and he's come up with 4 points off the bench.
He's limping, too, though. He is hurting. Showing a lot of courage.
So far, we have not seen Demir Kupalya, who has missed the last 2 games with a sprained left big toe. Traveling.
Good hustle, Osokolich, but that time, the readjustment. Michael Redd thinks he's got an easy one. The defense kept perking, kept after him, had to change it, and thus the miss. That
guy's averaging right at 76 points per game, and struggling along at only 19 with under 6 minutes to go. 37% from the field, although that's picked up a little bit, 7 of 19. Illinois picked up quite a bit. They're up to 48%, 11 of 23.
It's that time Frank Williams well within himself. They ran a play for him. I think as he learns how to adjust to his teammates, what they're going to run for, you can always get the ball back and get a long jump shot. I think that's part of that transition from a shooting guy to the point. And the other thing, Dave, is they run enough where he's going to get some open court opportunities, so that might become a comfort zone for him as well.
Well, some encouraging signs for Lon Kruger out of Frank Williams. In his first 3 games, only 4 assists against 10 turnovers and shooting 32%. The last 8, 47 assists, 23 turnovers and shooting 44%. So he's figuring some things out, and he's got 8 first-half points, and they're back up by 9.
They go zone. He's got 13 assists against Loyola, and that time they don't get out. Loyola's not up on Scooney,
who hits his second 3. And with 11 leads all scorers. Lucas Johnson off the spin. Bradford against Brown.
What a nice adjustment, too. Got him on his hip, took a peek, and drilled it.
8 for Corey Bradford.
Jess Scooney gets him organized. That's part of Frank's growth, too. Williams. Recognize the defense. Pry.
Knocked out by Williams. 18 on the shot clock for the Buckeyes. Buckeyes have struggled building their road Big Ten openers. Even some of their better teams have not won games like this. 15 and 20 all-time opening on the road. Brown, a nice dish to Osokolich.
That's the three-guard look. The ability to penetrate. Red, Penn, and Brown. Nice little delivery.
Osokolich and Savovic, both from Yugoslavia. They last saw their family 2.5 years ago. 3-pointer number 3, Bradford.
He just shook his head like, this is easy. A little picnic. Got to be careful.
Bottom of the iron that time, and Red may be hurt.
Boy, his head recoiled. Ooh, maybe in protection, too. Worried about people stepping on him. Osokolich a little too deep there. I thought he might charge, but found Michael Red.
First foul on Williams.
Call it on Frank Williams, his first. Red shaking it off. He showed his improvement up to 92% from the line, up from 61% last year. 63% last year. The field goal percentage has gone the other way. 47% last year is down to 41%. So far this year, the scoring down about 5 points per game.
But the preparation's so important. People are going to get ready for you when you're that talented. So you've got to find a way to use your teammates, get them involved, and loosen things up for yourself. And each year is different. It was a dream last year for Ohio State. They're going to have to find that level.
Neither he nor O'Brien thought it was a problem with shot selection. They both said it's not a matter of getting better shots, just knocking it down. And he felt like it was starting to come around for him. And we talked with him earlier this afternoon. 3-pointer, not there for Williams. Lost out of bounds by Red.
And as advertised, that's the first time. People at home might call it a box and one. What Ohio State calls it, it's a 1-3 with a chaser. Irish guys like to use that word, chaser, But they'll just play man-to-man. You see Brown heads up on Bradford, and everybody else in a 1-3 zone.
Cleopas Brown with the 3.
You put it in the hands of other people. It's a gamble defense. If they make shots, you're in trouble.
Brown on his feet, biggest lead of the game for the Fighting Illini, up to 10. Brown missing from the corner. Brown for Illinois on the run out. Score.
And you can see with the baseline run, timeout by Jimmy O'Brien. The guards on the baseline. The backcourt is bare.
And Ohio State has to call its second timeout. struggles draft on the offensive end compounded by not getting back on the defensive
Well,
end.
corner jumpers, if you make them, you're smiling. If you miss them, warm up the bus. Gus, the run out, you can just see no balance, 2 guards on the baseline, no forwards rotating back, and the open floor has given them ample opportunities, Illinois, to get control of this game.
Is not in session for another couple of weeks. You wouldn't know it by this crowd. Very well represented, the student body, and it's just about right at capacity.
I think they've got a feel for this team. This is one of those deep benches, as we alluded to, that has talent and can grow and get better. And I think as a student body, you'll see some signs of different players. You have Cook back in the game now. Bradford, obviously one of their main stalwarts. Archibald, another guy that, as you get to see them play, they are solid.
They've gone 10 deep already in this first half.
And they run a trap off the timeout.
Penn missing another 3. Osokovic misses the follow. Left his feet a hair too early. Lost out of bounds. Back to the Buckeyes in a timeout. 3:19 to play in the first half. Illinois by 12. The three-pointers starting to fall for Illinois, and even the easy twos aren't behaving for Ohio State. Illinois, like Ohio State, started slow. It is really starting to come down, especially for Corey Bradford.
The Big Ten, Frosh of the year, and you notice on all the jump shots, guys at the rim. This is learning the game. Are people in position to rebound? Coming into the frame, you got guys in position to dominate. All good shot selections. Big thing for Ohio State now is patiently address the offense. They get some Bradford on this foul. We were just bragging about him.
They work a great inbounds pass directly under the basket to Osokovic, who lays it in and draws the foul on Brian Cook, number 2. So Osokovic for the three-point play.
But the thought, too, I think Williams has to learn when to shoot. Whereas he might take it with nobody at the rim or quick in the offensive set. That's part of the learning process, and he was off last year, too. That's a big change. It's like transferring almost.
He was around the team. He was at the games, but there's no way you can compare that to actually playing. That's because of academic reasons. He could regain a 4th season of eligibility if he graduates in 4 years.
Great role. Great role.
And Champaign finishing the three-point play. Ken Johnson's been sitting for 6 minutes on the clock. Score is right about where it was when he picked up his second foul. Illini by 8. Archibald, tough pass down the baseline, fall away, blocked off of the hands of Chukudebe by Johnson's replacement, Will Devlin.
Archibald, a lot of hands, a great idea, just couldn't deliver it quickly. So this is all perimeter now.
Osokovic from the perimeter.
If you don't make it, you're dodging.
Well, they had another run out, but they didn't see Cleotis Brown. Illinois running very effectively when it's there.
Well, Illinois has a lot of guys can come running down the floor late. Here's a nice post up and make shots. Osokovic with a little body rub.
Is second.
When you can shoot threes, it opens up passing lanes. Right here, nice little duck in and plenty of area to make the pass. You can just see there in the streets, it'll get you in trouble. It's also illegal here.
7th team foul. Archibald shoots in the 1-and-1, a 62% free throw shooter out of Paisley, Scotland. Played for Great Britain at the World University Games and was their leading scorer, although Scotland, as he admits, not a real hoops hotbed. He had to come over here to raise the level of his game, and good enough to start for the number 17 team in the country. Father played for the Scottish national team.
Well, I've got to introduce him to my brother, who's one of the premier bagpipers in America, I might add. They might have a lot in common. But it's amazing worldwide the improvement level of players. And you see them more athletic than the guys that used to just shoot the threes. Now they get a little mixture in their game.
Archibald 6 here in the first half. Back to a double-digit lead.
Drags 2. Somebody's got to hop in. Not a good foul that far from the goal. The ability to keep the dribble alive and then the drag dribble. McLean sort of drawn into that.
Number 8 on the line.
Sergio with his first. Talked about Bradford getting to play in position. Sergio McLean last year had to play some point while they waited for Williams to gain his eligibility. And at 6'4", 222, he is nobody's idea of the classic point guard, but he went out and he battled night in, night out, did the best he could.
Well, that's been part of the problem, too, adjusting. And Lon Kruger a little bit animated on that. He thought it was an over the back. Clock stopped. You got to make those free throws.
Not off Archibald. They're only 6 of 12 from the line, the Buckeyes. Adding to their own problems.
Got to get into the crack. Not a good look here. Good cushion defensively.
Bradford winding his way to the left-hand finish. Archibald missed the follow. Chukudebe back up strong. Not strong enough, though.
Boy, Illinois really scrambling and hustling. But they got an injury as Bradford got in that lane. Did you see the defense attracted a little suckage as he looks as though he's going to take the three outside and then puts it on the floor. See, all of a sudden the defense reacts because that's scouting. He's unable. Right there when he went through, he must have taken a little bit of a hit. A lot of people on the deck for Illinois. Good things happen when you're down and dirty. And right here, he must have just turned and hit the post as he fell, huh? Got his wrist caught?
Yeah, it just came down a little awkwardly.
2 seconds back on the
stay
clock
in.
and 35 seconds on the shot clock.
Looks like he's mainly checking out his ankle. We're going to get Lucas Johnson in for Archibald. Minute 58 to go in the half. Illinois started about as cold as the Buckeyes, but after that 4-13 start, 10 of 19, for the game up to 47%.
Little trap, get it out of the leader's hands. I'll tell you, Jimmy O'Brien will win 10. With Johnson with the 2 fouls, he's got to feel pretty good about his team. They have not played well. Oh, not a good look there. The distance.
Williams got the steal, got it back from Bradford, back out, open three, Lucas Johnson, well overshot.
Good give.
Ryan Brown at the other end. Wow.
Nice opportunity. Good pass by Michael Redd.
It's a big swing. Johnson misses the 3. Buckeyes get the 2 at the other end, and they're within 7.
Nice little space out.
Chukudebe not sure if he wanted to take that shot.
Great screen, and then he draws towards the sideline, creating a lot more area for the defense to cover.
Shooting only 23%. Chukudebe, after no action the last 2 games, comes in, hits 6 points off the bench. Reese, nicely done. Nice floater with the soft touch. His first basket, 4 points for George.
Good activity on the baseline, and once again, Johnson resting. They got to feel awfully good to be down 9.
Timeout, Illinois.
Kruger wants a timeout. He gets it with just under 40 seconds.
Use it or lose it, huh?
Coming up at the half, ESPN News with the halftime report. Dave Feldman in the studio. We'll take a look at NC State taking out number 15 Maryland. The Clemson and North Carolina matchup. Can Clemson finally win in Chapel Hill? And Doc Gooden has a new home. Quinn Buckner joining Dave Feldman in the studio at the half.
Quinn never takes the night off, huh?
Never.
And he's working with the camel. I hope somebody's bringing water to those 2. Saw Quinn early in the week. Big Ten country, you and he spend most of the winter together.
Become very intimately acquainted this time of the year. We sure do.
Jimmy O'Brien now. A stop on the ball becomes very important for his team. Get them to 7. And the timeout now by Lon Kruger to make sure he gets the kind of shot. They go zone, a little switching right now to make them think.
Difference of 13 seconds on the clock. Bradford quickly up and doesn't get the 3-pointer. 25 seconds for Ohio State to work with. Down by 9. Could be worse for a big portion of this first half. It was worse.
Got to get some movement right now. They're going to end up with a long flyer. Cross-court pass.
Brown underneath finds Reese with 1 second. second.
Wow, what a find. Great penetration. And how about the guts to throw cross court over the top of the defense?
Coaches look at it and say, no, no, no. Great play. Good.
Way to do it, guys.
So from 12, the Buckeyes cut it to 7 at intermission in Champaign. It's 42-35. Dave Feldman and Quinn Buckner coming up in the studio.
I'm University of Illinois tight end Josh Whitman. As a Big Ten school, people think we're all about football, but Illinois is about academics first. We have the largest public university library in the country, and our alums have won 10 Nobel Prizes and 17 Pulitzers. Yes, at the University of Illinois, you'll find our focus is solely on education. Right, Dean Riley?
You are so right, Josh.
The University of Illinois. Academics first. Football, a close second.
Illinois leading Ohio State 42-35 at the half. They did have as much as a 12-point lead at 1.38-26. Buckeyes closed within 7, and the big help was the way that first half ended. The dangerous cross-court pass winding up in the hands of George Reese for the easy slam dunk with a second to go. 42-35 Illini over the Buckeyes, and we'll have more at the half from Champaign in a moment. At Assembly Hall in Champaign, 42-35 Illini over the Buckeyes, getting set for the start of the second half. Welcome again, Dave Barnett and Bill Raftery. A couple of keys in the first half. Ken Johnson picks up his second foul with just under 10 minutes to go, and the Buckeyes down by 7. They're still down by 7, so they weathered that okay. They did not weather, though, the offense from start to finish by Corey Bradford. A tough time dealing with him.
Yeah, you forget how talented he is. We don't see him often enough, whether it's the jump shot, the penetration, attracting people. He gives it up. I mean, just solid numbers each and every game. Outstanding from 3. I mean, so you have to run out on him and guard and get a hand up as though it's right around the basket. You give him that cushion, and Michael Redd was right up on him. We mentioned earlier, there's usually somebody in rebounding position. Here's the space dribble, the peak, and the knockdown. Here he doesn't convert, but you can just see his ability to get to the 10, and then others able to support.
Ohio State gets 8 points by Michael Redd, 11 by Scooney Penn. Both started very slow and then picked it up. And Scooney Penn had a couple of three-pointers. In fact, the only threes that the Buckeyes hit in that first half came from Scooney. They were shooting horribly until the last few minutes. They got it up to a respectable 45%. Didn't make their free throws, though. Didn't make many threes. Only one steal, and they turned it over 7 times. They got 1 block out of Johnson while he was in. He did not score, and they're used to about 8 points out of Ken Johnson. So he's a big key. See how he comes out to start the second.
And I think a big adjustment for Ohio State is balancing the floor. When the guards are on the baseline, others have to peel back and protect the backcourt. Illinois had a lot of runouts.
Johnson only 1 rebound as well in the first half. So the Buckeyes perhaps fortunate to be as close as they are with very little at all from him. He goes up after missing the layup and earns a trip to the foul line.
And Archibald gives it up. That was a nice little situation, a mismatch. Archibald switched to Redd, and now all of a sudden you take advantage. Some inside strength, something you didn't see with Ohio State. You just see the smaller people around, and Johnson unable to convert, but the giveaway by Archibald gets him to the line. Now that's solid. They didn't do that type of thing consistently for Jimmy O'Brien in the first half. As Rick Boyages says, see what the tape will show you. Johnson, unlike a lot of his teammates, has not improved much from the line, just 60%. As a team tonight, 6 of 13 by the Buckeyes. He gets his first point, and they are within 6. Now, Illinois has to be intelligent. Don't take the quick jack, run their sets. They screen well. Here's the little confusing thing. Now they're straight up man-to-man. Williams, tightly guarded by Penn, goes right around him. This is on the drive. And Scooney whispering, give it to me, big fella. Scooney did a lot on his own in the final minutes of the first half. A couple of big three-pointers. Driving attempt and hammered is Osokolic. Taking it to the 10 with a little reckless abandon. He's very athletic, and hopefully Griffith is okay. You see the opening, the head down. Not to be deterred, but it was clean up top. A lot of body after the play. Oh, no call. I sort of agree with it. Yeah, because it was after they had hit on the floor.
Marcus Griffin.
And they'll check on Griffin as he limps for the Illinois bench.
They got the two big guys with foot problems now.
Chukudebe is nursing a bad right ankle, which cost him their last 2 games.
See if Fred can beat his guy. He has not really gone down that lane. Good protection defensively.
A double pen, try to get it out of his hands, and it works. Stolen by Cleotis Brown, quickly fouled by Brian Brown.
Now, there were 2 problems with that. Scoonie Penn being smaller, the big trap on the outside, and also Michael Redd did not move to the ball to give him a good, quick passing lane. He lingered at half court, anticipating the catch, and then beating this guy. You got to bail out the guard.
Brown picks up his first. Cleotis coming off a season-high 19 points, 4 3-pointers against Loyola Chicago.
Look at these bumps for Bradford.
Bradford just off on another 3. Archibald taps it back out. Nobody's there. Ohio State ball.
Good check out. A well-designed play. Maybe a little under duress with the jump shot. It wasn't the ankle, it was the knee, huh?
Took a tumble moments ago, so they've got Chukudebe out maybe for extended minutes. Nice look. Johnson sets up Osokowicz.
Johnson's not a great passer, but recognizing the double and the nice dive by Osokowicz. They're right at knocking at the door.
7 for Chobe Osokowicz. In his first ever Big Ten Conference game, Buckeyes closed within 4. Then a slow, steady comeback from 12 down. And the Illini cold to start the second half. Chukudebe open from the high post.
It's a danger, though. Chukudebe got 2 jump shots. They've got to go at Johnson. Go inside, but he's not going to come out and foul you out there. Get him moving.
Because his normal tendency seems to be to take all challenges, even when he needs to let some go, and not risk the foul. Bad pass by Michael Redd, turnover number 9.
Now, that was not a confident Michael Redd. He had the wide open look. His idea was the roll man baseline. It's unselfish, so you can't argue with him. But when you're his level and that good, take that shot.
Michael Redd at 8 points on 3 of 8. Johnson has come on for the Illini, and Griffin back in. They didn't ice his knee, but a minute or 2. Cleotis Brown.
Well, he has just grown in his confidence.
One of only 2 seniors. Such a limitless future here in Champaign. 7 freshmen and sophomores.
There's his lane.
Redd, tough finish.
The little southpaw smooch.
Michael Redd.
A little blow by.
Williams quickly back, sets up the 3 deep in the corner. Cleotis Brown.
Both playing more confidently now. Would you agree, Dave? Both teams
Visibly. This is not how either one came out of the game.
automatic switches on the perimeter. All about equal size defensively. Nice
Osokowicz on the back door finds Scoonie Penn. He has 13.
Is Petey Carroll in the building? A little Princeton. Sleight of hand.
49-42. Much better passing by both teams. These early moments of the second half. And the shooting coming around too. Brown to back 3.
How about Frank Williams? Well within himself. Didn't force it to get back at it. Nice dispense of the pick.
Penn right back. Splits Williams and Griffin. Redd taking off the dribble. Now Williams, can you top this? Nope, gives it up to Griffin. Around it out to Ken Johnson. 3 of his 4 rebounds since halftime for Johnson. Penn stripped.
There's the run out.
2 on none break. Brown.
Ooh,
Fouled by Brown.
It's got to be intentional. No?
No, Ted Hillary shaking his head.
I thought he extended his hands. Well, Ted must have been tough at his playground. I'll let that one go. Jimmy may have dodged one. But right here you can see the turnover. The wing people have penetrated. Okay, I think he's right. I think he's right. I thought there was an arm in the back, but Ted Hillary, I apologize. And I'm sure I'll hear about it from him, too.
Second foul, Brian Brown. First trip to the free throw line, Cleotis Brown. One of only 2 seniors out of Pittsview, Alabama, by way of Southern Union Junior College. Actually 3 years there, got a medical redshirt year after a hip injury.
You recall talking to him with Lon before the game, and he said you get to let it all hang out senior year.
And is he doing that here in this second half? He has 8 of his 13. They lead by 9. Illinois builds it back to 9:53-44 with 15:56 to go in the second half here in Champaign. Big Monday returns to ESPN next week. 3 great games starting in the Big East where Georgetown meets St. John's, and then number 16 Texas, led by Chris Min, takes on defending national champion, second-ranked Connecticut, following SportsCenter. Number 22 Utah, San Diego State in the Mountain West. Catch all the games Monday on ESPN, and for more information, log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network.
Troy Murphy, awfully impressive at Notre Dame against UConn.
33 with 16 boards and no turnovers. How much more could you do? Ken Johnson, how much more could he do in the second half?
And Reese held off nicely, but a nice play by Michael Redd. See if they go inside here.
Did that touch pen? Didn't look like it. Ted Hillary right on the play says it did. Illinois ball. Two of the good guys in the coaching profession matched up here. Lon Kruger, Jim O'Brien.
Class acts. And you can see Lon trying to go inside for that reason. Get Johnson, such an impact player. On this end, more so than the offensive end. Nice look.
Williams whips it to Johnson. Out strong.
Well, Magic Johnson, huh? With the vision. He's learning. Good feel.
Petey Carrill would have been proud of the back door, and Magic would have liked that one.
Frank Williams is, we talked a lot. The hardest part of the game, I think, is moving to the point position when you're not accustomed to it.
Tough shot by George Reese, and it goes off the glass.
And they got a little power on both blocks now.
Griffin beats everybody.
And Johnson just did not get back over his fingertips.
A much faster pace this half compared to the early moments. Reese, offensive rebound and knocked out by Williams.
Into the Illinois lineup.
2 of the higher scoring teams in the pre-conference portion of the Big Ten, living up to what you would expect as Bradford comes out for Sergio McClain.
Scooney taking that. He's the dangerous guy here. They're in the zone. Well, let's see. I think they're straight up man.
Both teams shooting 60% in the second half.
Now the screen in for him, but they do a nice job reversing the ball. They have to settle into an offense. Well, you got to use Johnson.
Yeah, Penn had him, decided to go to Reese.
Lucas did a nice job trying to help out.
Well, not many touches of late. Now Penn, plenty of time, 15 to shoot.
Ooh, never got the angle necessary. Johnson sort of tied down. That's not a Scooney Penn type of play. And they're not ready again.
Again, Griffin was the first man down the floor. They missed the connection this time. Nice that he can smile about it. He should have had his second straight slam dunk. First turnover by Illinois since 6:39 left in the first half. Over 12 minutes.
That'll keep you smiling as a coach, valuing the ball. Little zipper screen down. Look at this curl.
Scooney, 15 points, but 4 turnovers, including that last possession.
Nice rotation.
Red held off by Brown. Cleotis going for the block is first.
The weight room helps this club, huh? Defensively, and getting down the floor, they've had some good open floor opportunities.
Reese up strong and scores. George Reese now 10 points.
Somebody's going to put a couple of stops together.
Cleotis feeling it, back out and misses from that favorite spot. Rebounded by Griffin. And another chance to reset for Williams.
A little show by Reese to help out. They got Scooney, I believe. A little nickel dimer on the tag.
His second, team's third.
Fouls on Ohio State, number 12, Scooty Penn.
Well, you're right about the weight room. Guy we haven't seen probably looks like he will be the most improved from hitting the weights, and that's Demir Krupalia, who is again sitting out with a sprained toe.
And Lucas struggled a little bit outside. He had the cut-off shirt and everything else. I guess it shows. And you got Lucas with the step in, never got in position, and Scooney taking advantage. Ted Kluszewski was the first guy with the cut-off.
Yeah, to show off the biceps.
I did that in my younger days.
Number 1 on Lucas Johnson.
Why don't you do it now?
Well, I'm lean at this day. There he is. And that's part of their problem, too. The injury bugaboo. Toes, wrists, ankles. He's just back practicing, so it's going to be a few more days.
Spent all the summer rehabbing his knee. Worked on the outside shot, and now replacing get the toe back in shape. As Brian Cook replaces Cleotis Brown.
Not a bad-looking sub, but you can put Cook in.
They played 10 of their 11. We'll say that Krupalia is not available tonight. They weren't sure before the game. 10 of their 11 players saw action in the first half. They have depth, and they're not afraid to use it. Tough luck on the second shot by Penn. 57-51. McLean.
Pretty. Oh, what a nice pump. Get him up and put it down. They're biting on all those pumps, too, Ohio State.
Quick to leave their feet. 5 for Sergio McLean. Back up by 8.
Nice back screen. And, boy, are they guarding, too. Illinois reacting. Lucas right out on Red.
Sticky man-to-man. They back out just long enough for Red to try the three-pointer. Couldn't knock it down. Illinois on the run. Brown gets the pick.
Not a good look. You're retreating defensively. You got to be aware.
Trying to push it up. They have shut Corey Bradford out. And he's taken only 1 shot here in the second half. Has yet to score.
Defensively, they have contained the bounce. Look at the help here. The perimeter assistance.
In traffic, Ken Johnson pulls it down. 10 to shoot for Penn. Now Reese goes between the legs, pull up from 12.
He just sticks around, hangs, comes up with big baskets. Great poise.
Junior college All-America at Logan here in Illinois. Griffin off balance. What a counter.
They didn't call the walk, so great use of the pivot foot and extending. He's got a little game in that box area. Lon came out of the gate looking to establish low. They got away from it. And this time gets Johnson with his third. I mean, that's a serious problem for Ohio State if he's not on the floor.
Picked up his second with just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Sat for the rest of the half. He has a little over 8 minutes before picking up number 3. He will stay in. It's Red who gets a breather. Now he may be coming out for Will Dudley.
It's almost like Illinois is forcing Jim O'Brien to get some bodies fresh, too. And they have to match the stamina. And it affects your shooting. Maybe Red's last jump shot, part of that dilemma.
Well, Ohio State not as deep as they thought they would be, but lost John Anderson, who transferred to Ohio University, joined another former Buckeye there, Sean Stonerook. Penn pulls that one down. Not nearly as deep in the middle. Shamar Heron transferred to Eastern Michigan. And the big loss, Alexander Radojevic, not allowed to enroll by the NCAA. It was the 12th pick in the first round. Look, Toronto, what a drive and finish by Corey Bradford.
Oh, my goodness. A little blow by. The lingerie there and the defense lacking.
On their feet again in Champaign with an 8-point lead. Savovic had it stripped. Still battling. And is that finally a hell ball? It is, and Illinois will have it on the possession arrow. Unless Steve Welmer overrules and calls a foul. Let's see what the call will be.
I thought it was a loose ball. Saying he had it first.
Fans, it's now time for BC Facts Luke Shoot. Please welcome our contestant.
Well, as they sort it out, I think they're going to call a timeout Illinois before the hell ball. They got a timeout call. I believe that's what they've decided.
And conference call. Well, maybe right there somebody whispered in his ear. Tell you, do you think football's tough? Where's the coach now?
Ron Turner right at home. Relive one of college basketball's great games when Michigan plays North Carolina in the 1993 NCAA championship. Tar Heels, if you remember, won Dean Smith his second national title. Down to the wire, and you can relive it at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time Saturday on ESPN Classic. To order ESPN Classic, dial 1-800-CLASSIC or call your cable provider. At Assembly Hall in Champaign, 15,841. Dave Barnett and Bill Raftery. Illinois has led almost from the wire. Early, Ohio State by 4-2. Other than that, they've trailed the whole way, and they trail by 8 at the moment. And after this timeout, it is Illinois ball.
Now, I'm wondering now if they're saying it was when Steve Ballmer came in and pointed, was he signaling the possession arrow? We have not had that clarified. Unless it's either the timeout was called. I'm assuming the timeout was called. Took the break. Jimmy doesn't seem upset over it. But you think of Illinois' defense and their ability either to turn the corner as Bradford and get an easy one or an open floor opportunity. So they've always been able to keep this cushion with breakdowns defensively.
Shots have come much easier all night for the Illini. And after the timeout, evidently they did not call that a possession arrow because it still points in favor of Illinois. So they just got the possession long enough to get a timeout call. Now they work it inside for Griffin. Griffin, one move too many for Dudley, who's forced a foul, and that's Will's third.
Now, Dave Barnett, I've never seen your game, but if you got the ball that close to the 10, I think you'd give people a difficult time. You've got to root guys out. You can look where he's got 1 foot in the lane. You're dead, and nobody coming down to help, which was happening earlier in the game. Everybody staying home to keep it honest. Unfortunate, only 2 shots. It should have been a goal and 1.
Oh, my game, I never would have been that close. Well, that's the flaw.
Hey, think of the Illinois rich tradition. Johnny Kerr going back to those days. You mentioned Derek Harper. Kendall Gill, a guy I see all the time, won the Big Ten scoring title in 1990. Great guy, does a lot for charity as well. Nick Anderson, Eddie Johnson, the
Kenny Battle.
And a guy whose hairdo I always admired, Lou Henson.
Oh, yeah.
30 years along the sideline. Yeah, Kenny Battle, the great glass eaters.
From the line, they've missed their last 5. Griffin is 0 for 4. Reese out of the youth. Johnson too far underneath, couldn't make the catch. And again, the Illini try to rush it up. Penn comes back with the steal. It's a 4-on-2 Buckeye break. Offensive foul.
Wow. What a great job with the catch as Michael Redd readjusted to get turned and face Scotty Penn. Better D.
Timeout. 10:27. Red having a tough time here in the second half. And it's Illinois on top by 8. Michael Redd having a tough time in the second half, and this call goes against him.
Well, the readjustment's great, but now look at this. This is a bang-banger, but this is the rule I think the NCAA should have, where once you're in there, you cannot pick up the charge. But look at, that is such a bang-banger. I mean, Ted Hillary could have a lot of arguments. I, for one, felt should have scored the goal and gone to the foul line, but you could readily see Jimmy's being upset. If it went the other way, Lon Kruger, a real bang-banger, maybe the hardest call for referees.
Only 2 points in the second half against 3 turnovers by Michael Redd.
Nice show. I don't like that shot.
Missed the quick 3.
Defense right there, Dave.
Buckeyes taking their time, halfway gone in the second half, trailing by 8, down by 7. At intermission, Reese fouled along the baseline.
Maybe Cook there, but you see Savovich in the game now makes a nice little entry pass and then keeps his guy out there because he can shoot shots.
Ryan Cook called for his third. Savovich turning the corner is Reese, and he's fouled, and that's 4 on Cook.
I tell you, Reese is a low down on the block. You can see they rather give him the pill down on the block because he has a little imagination, a little creativity. And here, this little spin out, just terrific. And the Gather almost a chance to have a three-point play, but some options now other than Johnson, which is helping them get a little feel on the offensive end.
No way Ohio State's close as they are without the play of George Reese off the bench. Averaging 11, he's got 13. 3 for 3 on the line. Cook leaving after picking up number 4, and so far, Bill, the transition from starting 8 games to coming in and playing the key role off the bench has been an easy one, you'd think, for Reese.
Well, I'm just thinking the same thing. The temperament. Look at this rebound by Savovich. Should have just brought it back out, but they'll get it back anyhow. But how about his attitude? Willing to step back to help the team and then go in and perform. And once again, you'll always see Red on the floor or Scooney.
Illinois comes up with another steal. Bradford beating Savovich. Counted, and he's fouled.
How often have we seen everybody on the baseline for Ohio State and Illinois with a terrific little counter punch? The inbounds pass was everybody's down on the baseline and nobody down in the middle of the floor, and all of a sudden the breakdown, the run out, a little wire-to-wire job. This is one that you should just let go. Don't give him a chance. A little send it in. He's got 3, he's got a middle game, and he's got a resounding little thunder.
No three-point play, though. Bradford, 15 points. One more than Cleotis Brown to lead the Illini up by 9. 9:38 mark of the game. Ohio State gets inside for Red.
A nice little attitude with the zone. Good presentation by Reese. Turned, snuck a peek, and Red to the tip.
Michael Red, Jim O'Brien's first year, the Big Ten scoring leader as a freshman. 19.5 last year, down under 15 per game. Searching for the consistent shot coming into this one. Williams, one move too many for Savovich, but Boban ends up with the rebound, and Archibald slowly getting up with a bit of a limp as Reese. No call by the officials against Griffin. Now deep in the corner for 3 is Red.
What a pretty kick. Great ball reversal, and then the acknowledgement. Archibald pretty good, though. Got back. They're going to call a timeout just to check him, I think. He's bending over. He's not feeling too good. There's your leader, right? He's happier sitting there watching him perform. Scooney contributing in a vocal way. How about this ball reversal? Brown on the money. Get the puppy set. A little nylon strike. Stroke. Maybe Red is back.
Coming up on tonight's Sports Center at 11 p.m. Eastern, Carl Ravitch and Rich Eisen. Looking at the NFL playoff. Does experience count? Well, you'd think so. They'll have a preview. The question of the night, the peak performer of the week, and Reggie Miller time at the Pepsi Center in Denver. That's coming up 11 Eastern on ESPN Sports Center. Closest we've been in the second half. 4-point game.
Reggie's starting to get that stroke back. They're banging down that deep jumper.
Never too far away from Reggie. Takes only short trips down the block.
And Red with that stroke reminiscent of Reggie.
8:40 to go. Frank Williams yet to score this half.
Brown doing a little better job tagging Bradford. You can't let him out of your distance.
Griffin maneuvering for a block by Johnson. Saved by Brown. Fall away hook. Out to Bradford. Stolen by Penn. 2-on-2. Penn too fast. Too far underneath. Brian Brown hustles and gets the follow.
Brian's amazing. He's a little bit like Reese in his contribution. The silencer.
2-point game. Bradford gets it back to 5.
Oh my goodness. Brown just could not get back to cover him properly.
His 4th three-pointer, 40th of the year. He set the school mark last year with 85. He's almost halfway there. This just the first conference game for both Ohio State and Illinois, and it's been a good one. Red barely draws iron.
It should be red ball.
And is.
Out of bounds. Tell you, conference play, is it heated up? What a difference a day makes, huh?
And out on the floor.
This is not American University in Loyola, Chicago. It's some of those warm-up groups.
Not at all.
It's real now. Buckeyes at 1 point close within 2. It's 5 at the moment, 66-61 with Bill Raftery, Dave Barnett. This is how Big Ten openers should go. It may be a little slow out of the gate, but they are going up down the floor well now.
Well, you get the feeling they're both, I think NCAA tapes is a long way to go. A lot of things can happen, but the competitiveness now, the zeal, the effort, it's so enjoyable. You can feel it, and hopefully at home you can get it through the screen as well.
Buckeyes ball after the timeout. Looking for the hot hand of Red. Back to Penn, off balance, very short on the 3, rebounded by Griffin.
Nice screen by Lucas.
Cross court, another 3 by Cleopas.
Well, it takes a lot to win, and Lucas Johnson just pinned his guy to open up the jump shot.
Brown had 9 of 22 on the year from 3. He's got 4 tonight.
This back screen gets Red free so well.
Radford lost it to Reese, now picked up by Griffin.
And nothing there, just back it out.
Johnson back for Sergio McClain, way off in the 3.
Got to be under control and know what's going on. Pretty dish.
Reese rolls off for Brown.
I think Reese over the top.
It's on Ohio State.
Got to make those layups. The frustration there, as you look at Jimmy O'Brien, they've had a couple of layups in the first half. They didn't finish that particular trip as well.
Number 40, George Reese. That's the first foul on Reese.
The cross-court setup. Now look at Lucas here. Just pins the man, and now the ability to knock him down is so important, but you got to get free to do it. And Cleopas, how about Southern Union? Got to be pretty happy about his contribution to the Big Ten.
Putting them on the map. First free throw good by Bradford. Illinois in the 1-1. Big Ten Freshman of the Year, led the team, 15.4 per game last year. Added about a half point to again lead the Illini scoring this year. And he leads them tonight with 20. Since the Buckeyes closed within 2, Illinois answers with 8 straight points. Reese,
Pretty.
unable to end it. Illinois foul will be Lucas Johnson.
And Lucas had moved Reese out nicely, but you can see the nice footwork. Reese got himself into position, a little harsh with the kiss delivery.
Number 2 on
Tom Kruger, his 4th year in Champaign, has won from the get-go Kansas State, Florida, and Illinois. 20 wins and NCAA tournament teams, and the 94 Final Four team of Florida.
Red got himself free on the out of bounds.
Bradford forced into the turnover by the defensive Scooney Penn.
And that's the first time they ran that box set where they run a flare screen. Penn adjusted beautifully. They all know one another.
And Mitch Richmond, Kansas State, really a no-name team in Florida that he took to the Final Four 94. Andrew DeClerc would be the most recognizable name.
He's still playing in Cleveland. Nice use of the post by Red to get back.
In and out on the reverse by Reese. They got to make those shots down the A.
And the run out again, they get Griffin. Williams, like the point guard, they got Lucas. Good call. Good call. Jimmy Byrne is telling Lon Kruger, I got the call. This is a time and distance call. He's got a little fire in there too, you know. And I don't blame him. But good reaction by Lucas, and I like the call. 2 well-coached teams going at one another.
Lucas Johnson's 3rd. Puts Penn on the line. He's 81%, 4th best in the Big Ten. Nothing's going all night from the line for the Buckeyes.
Boy, the hardware salesman, huh? Lucas Johnson, whatever it takes, the nuts and bolts.
Scooney 1 of 6 from the line. They're 9 of 19 as a team. This is how they shot last year. They were much better so far this year.
That's the job. Get it in here and let them go to work. Face up, and nobody really helping, so Johnson all alone.
Griffin.
Look at that.
Stays after it. Griffin one more try and pulling it away, Ken Johnson.
Got to be more physical in there.
Michael Redd between the legs sets up Reese. George Reese, 9 of his 15 here in the second half.
And think of the couple of layups that went in and out on him, too. And he has been lighting it up on offense. This is the end Ohio State has to do some damage now. Maybe get a turnover to a run out or a block shot to a fast break.
Unlike some of his early games, Frank Williams looking for everybody else's shot but his.
Very admirable game for him. Maybe a little stagger there for him.
7 assists tonight. 8 points all in the first half. McClain, big rejection. Ken Johnson, he saw that coming as soon as McClain started the drive, and there is 1 second on the shot clock.
And that was a message on that rejection. A little aggressive. Get it out of town.
Timeout called by Lon Kruger after the 3rd block shot by Ken Johnson, 2nd in the country coming in, averaging 5 per game. Again, Sports Center coming up at 11 Eastern on ESPN. Carl Ravitch and Rich Eisen previewing the NFL playoffs, asking the question of the night, and taking a look at Reggie Miller's work at the Pepsi Center. Indiana taking on the Denver Nuggets tonight.
Even though the message was there for Johnson, just a little slap and recovery, they may have had a run out at the other end. I'm sure he's a little bit frustrated. They've been going at him with Griffith, and I think that's what they should continue doing. Give Griffith some touches down there. If anything, they may get some offensive board work because Johnson's dragged away guarding his own man.
He had a great shot blocker. Wouldn't you want him to watch some old films of Bill Russell?
Oh, well, absolutely.
That's how you block a shot and start a fast break all in one motion.
Well, Jimmy O'Brien saw enough of Russell. He's a New England guy, so I'm sure he's talked about it.
They have one to shoot. Williams got off a decent shot, and a foul will send it the other way, and they're going to get Marcus Griffin.
They have went toe-to-toe. Oh,
nope,
they give it to Brown. I saw Griffith come over the top as well.
Second personal on Brown.
Brown also late getting up.
More injured player. Rob Cardinal out there. Father of
Brian.
Yeah, it's good to see Brian back and healthy. He had that thumb problem. But then, now watch Griffith come over the top here. This is where I thought he got. See him there? It's a dealer's choice there. Pick whoever you like. But they just go all out and don't have the protection as they get down to the ground. Brown hopefully will be okay because he has played solid basketball of late, and in particular this evening.
6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 5 from the line. The 3-point line, 17 points, 4 rebounds.
Now, I don't know Rob Cardinal, but he has to have great work habits, knowing his son.
Something got transmitted.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Apparently, when Brian got hurt growing up, he never got treatment from his dad because he is Citizen Pain. He fears no collision.
Run it off, I'm sure. He was told as a kid, so let's get healthy quickly here.
Reese at the line, only 53% for the year, 3 of 4 tonight. Hits the front end.
Tell you, a lot of Valentines walking around out here. A lot of guys got something ticking under the shirt.
Very poor free throw shooting by both teams. 1 of 2 again. So the margin at 4:19 to go, Illinois by 7, right where they were at the half. Buckeyes briefly closed to within 2. Illini answered with 8 straight points to pull back in front by 10.
And Griffin with a nice reload down there on the block.
Johnson starts in.
We got away with one, I thought. Thought he reached down a little bit, but that's the influence he has on any offensive dribble drives. Lon Kruger, he's been around a while. Nice hold off by Griffith, but right here, he may have gotten away with that little swipe.
Johnson then swiped it out. Lucas Johnson did. Would have been the 4th foul on Ken Johnson had they called.
Turn and face.
Reese turns on Lucas, gets the roll.
They got some answers, don't they? You got to get easy baskets. Here's the run out by Griffith again.
That is a career-high 18 for George Reese. This is going to be 4 on Ken Johnson.
Now, he had him spinning. They must have seen something in tape because they were running the 5-man, the center, from rim to rim. Johnson not getting back and acknowledging his guy getting caught. A couple of follow-ups, couple of dunks. And here's Paul Biancardi talking to Jimmy O'Brien.
Yeah, Griffin's been doing most of that running, and it appears to have taken a toll. He was bent over trying to catch his breath as long as they let him rest before handing him the ball. 0 for 4 before he hits that front end.
And a 72% free throw shooter as well. But he has dominated in that inside post position when he's had the ball. He's been doing some terrific things.
Marcus, junior college Division II Player of the Year. And 1 of 2. Ohio State down 6, 3.5 minutes. Ken Johnson still on the floor with 4 fouls.
As we use Reese.
With the hot hand, a career night for George. Reaching in, fouling him, Sergio McClain on the double down.
I liked it though. I mean, very heady play. Helping the partner. Reese has been doing some damage. A little overzealous on the reach in, but you've got to concentrate. Know where your man is. Position yourself where you can rake, scrape. You can see there a little ball, little arm, but that's good, solid defense.
1-1.
19 fouled. Next foul both ways will start the double bonus. Reese gets the front end. Leotis, who left after landing hard on his back a moment ago, still regrouping.
Dave, he's key, I think. They got to get him back.
Well, he shot the second half. He is. 3 of his 4 threes have been here in the second half. Reese hits a pair, 74-70. With Bill Raftery, Dave Barnett in Champaign, Illinois. The Illini 74-70 over Ohio State in the Big Ten opener for 2 ranked teams with very high expectations. Ohio State coming off a Final Four appearance. Illinois coming off a last place finish in the regular season last year, but very high expectations for them as well. And near sellout at Assembly Hall tonight. Buckeyes have 3 more timeouts left. As you saw, Illinois is down to their final timeout and nursing a 4-point lead. And this has turned into a real battle of the bruises in the second half. There's a foul about every possession.
The Whirlpool will be busy tomorrow. I mean, there'll be a lot of sore bodies. Everybody offering it up and being very competitive. Down the stretch, free throw shooting becomes very important. It's been a problem for Ohio State all evening long. The runouts by Illinois has been a problem for Ohio State. However, finding Reese has gotten them back in touch right now.
They've missed their last 6 from the field. The Illini don't want to go cold now at the 3-minute mark. Griffin against Johnson, still in with 4 fouls. Challenges him, goes up. Johnson doesn't go for the fake, and Griffin can't score.
And what a nice check out by Michael Redd. Tipping to himself.
Huge defense by Johnson. Penn misses the 3.
And down the other way, huh? Michael Redd trying to get to the offensive glass.
His second.
Fouls on Ohio State, number 22, Michael
And that's
Redd.
double bonus the rest of the way for Illinois.
A little quick, maybe, that trip.
Second
Real quick.
personal
Penn, though,
Redd.
one of those confidence guys.
He is.
When he feels it, you have to figure it's a good shot.
Well, he's your guy. I mean, he's the one that's going to make a lot of decisions in the flow of a game, and he's been very successful for Jimmy O'Brien, whether it's at BC or Ohio State.
Lucas Johnson, sophomore from Des Plaines, who has played more like this as a road game, only 2 points. He's averaged 14 here at home and about 2 on the road. 1 of 2, 5-point game. The hot hand of Reese spins on Lucas Johnson and gets another roll.
Wow, as he stepped up big time. George! Oh.
22 points, 16 in the second half on a career night for the senior from Columbus. Again, they go at Ken Johnson. Outside, McLean misses a three.
A nice check down on Griffin. And you mentioned fatigue. He's not really crisp offensively. He's catching and putting it on the floor. He's got to work Johnson if he gets it down there.
Chance to tie for the Buckeyes. 2 minutes left.
I'd go to Reese. Let's say Jimmy's making a call here. Let's see what they run. Screen down.
Looking for Red. Michael Red soars in, misses. Tapped out to Johnson. Williams fouled on the spin move.
And Brown with the scrape. Red tried to make an adjustment on his jumper. He lost that lift so necessary to complete the shot. And once again, the inability to get in good position. But right here, the little ball fake, he's looking to pass to the corner and never gets the release level that he needed. And unfortunately for them, Illinois right back at it with Williams with a wonderful pirouette to the tin.
Jim O'Brien's group hoping they can put the defensive clamps down. That's the first 2 points this half for Frank Williams. 77-72. Buckeyes pretty much have to score every possession from here on in. You would think.
Yep, and they go high-low. Nice duck in by Johnson, and Reese once again contributing.
This will be Griffin. Marcus picks up number 3.
Ken Johnson's played within himself with the 4 fouls, making sure with the discard here, if you eliminate the ability of strength as he did there, and then taking advantage of the 3-second lane. They haven't used that all game, and that's one of their favorite plays where they duck him into the 3-second lane. He begs.
Johnson occupied defensively with Griffin, and perhaps mentally by the early foul trouble, which cost him the last almost 10 minutes of the first half. He's playing with 4. Has now 4 points all here in the second half to close within 4.
And you can see how important his free throw shooting is, because when you're coming back like this, you've got to get to the foul line. Your big guy's going to get opportunities. He's got to convert.
Reese keeps it alive, gets the tip in. The best of all we've seen from Reese.
I think this has got to be a drive to the goal, I think. Griffin has not really turned the offensive weapon.
The Illini have missed their last 8 shots. They've gone 4 minutes since their last bucket.
Screening the guards on the baseline. And Griffin gets banged around by the post people.
Now Williams going to work on Penn. Another miss. And Red unable to save it. It's out of bounds. Fresh shot clock, 50.7 for the Illini.
And it didn't lack effort. Just the balance a little out of kilter.
20 timeout called here by the Illini. That is their last timeout. Buckeyes still have 3 left. No more in the back pocket of Ron Kruger. So 77-75 Illinois. And scoreless from the field now for a good long while. What are they doing differently? They seem to be getting decent shots. They are not coming. They're not coming the way they were in the first.
They're not coming as easily, and I think it's partially defense, and I think partially a little bit of fatigue. And all of a sudden, Marcus Griffin not catching and doing some damage, which you saw him do earlier. I think he's exhausted. And then you throw Reese into the mix for Ohio State. He's just raised his game a level. He's so confident, whether it's a pass as he did to Johnson, a shot, a tip. He's done everything possible to keep Jimmy O'Brien's guys in this game.
NFL Tonight next. It's now 9 straight misses from the field by Illinois. But they have the fresh shot clock, and you see the time remaining in regulation. They work it to Johnson.
I think Bradford's got to get himself free. He's down in the box area here. See if they can get some help on the drive. That's what you got to do. Great look.
Whipping back out.
They're probably just using the clock, too.
Shot clock at 17. Now Bradford working on Brian Brown. What knocked away by Brown. Back to Bradford. Wraparound pass. Out of bounds to Ohio State.
And they got the 3 timeouts. So I think Jimmy O'Brien will get it over half court and call a timeout once they get it up there.
Rudy Penn looks over, sees what the coach has in mind, and the timeout comes with 19.1 seconds.
How about the hands? Most importantly, when you think of Brown, you think defensively. He's such a solid one-on-one defender, playing one of the premier outside people who can also put it on the floor. Hey, Corey Bradford, wonderful foot movement in the hands. And now it's been Reese. So you've got to do some disguising. I don't think you can just come down and get Reese on the block, so he'll be doing some screening. But right here, the penetration, this is the end now. The good hands in there by Johnson, they end up getting it off. Griffith, you can see the frustration venting there. A lot of their offense, Ohio State, are screens, either back screen or down screen. I think Reese has got to be involved in it where he gets the touch. And then if they want to double, you may have to settle for the modest jump shot or a dribble drive off it.
Sports Center going on now on ESPN. Reviewing the NFL playoffs and asking the question of the night. NFL Tonight follows here on ESPN2. A 12-4 Buckeye run since it was a 10-point Illini lead at 73-63. 15 seconds.
Now this may be one where it goes inside and out to get a long one.
Here's Reese, who's carried him this second half. Can he tie it? Not here. Tipped up and in by Brown. 5 seconds.
They got to get back in guard.
Basketball kid Hansen.
Williams a 3. And the he got it, and it's Bedlam in Champaign.
Devastating weapon. Toasting Williams with Champaign in Illinois. He knew the clock over half court with 2 seconds left. He was not going to give it up.
Illinois wins it. 80-77 after the Buckeyes tied it on this terrific tip-in by Brian Brown.
You've got to play the whole game. Identify, contain the dribble, make them turn. This ball wasn't going to anybody. Williams gets to the middle. A little nylon. Oh! Talked about his point guard difficulties, but he filled it up big time.
Williams a 3 at the buzzer. The Illini 80-77 in the Big Ten opener. For Bill Raftery, Dave Barnett. So long from Champaign, Illinois. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. NFL Tonight coming up.